Davis Schneider just called up, making his major league debut here tonight.
And it's gone! Davis Schneider homers in his first big league at bats. Unbelievable moment for this guy. 28th round pick here at Fenway in his first major league at bat.
Davis Schneider has burst onto the major league scene, the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 9 hits and 2 home runs in his first 3 games in the show. Joining me now, Davis, thanks so much for being with us. You've already gotten the nickname from your teammates of Babe Schneider. I would imagine the last week and change has been a bit of a whirlwind. Take us through it.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, to say the least. But when I got called up on Thursday, it happened so fast. I had to call my parents, and I was right on my way to the airport and flew to Boston. But when I got there Friday, the guys were great to me when I first met them. I already felt like I was part of the team, which was great because, the nerves were hitting at an all-time high when I first got there. But, like I said, the guys were awesome. They made me feel at home, which was probably the number one thing, because when you go out there and you're on the field, then the nerves kind of stay away just because you're out there just playing baseball at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next. At what point did you say, hey, this is the game I've been playing my entire life. I just got to do it on the biggest stage. At what point were you no longer nervous?
I think after the first inning. Everything before that, leading up to it, was nerve-wracking, like the media and everything like that. That was probably the most nerve-wracking part about it. But once you step foot on the field and in the box, then everything kind of just takes care of itself, just because you've been playing it for so long, and you're just kind of used to that kind of atmosphere, even though there was a lot more fans than I'm used to. But it's just, at the end of the day, it's just baseball.
All right, 28th round pick back in the 2017 draft by the Jays. Would you have ever thought back then, Davis, that you would be already making history as the first player with 9 hits and 2 long balls in your first 3 games?
Definitely not. I just wanted to get at least a hit on my first at bat. I didn't expect it to be a homer or anything like that. But, you dream of doing something like that. I never dreamt of Fenway or playing in Boston or, even playing in my first game. But, I'm very grateful for it to happen like that. I couldn't have asked for a better place to do it. And, my family and friends all got to watch me do it, which was probably the best part about it.
What was that experience like, being able to share that moment with your family and friends? Because getting to the show is just not for the player. You know that better than anybody. It's for all of your support system through the years. What were those conversations like? It was
pretty cool. I called my parents when I first found out I was going up, and they were crying and, hysterical. And, I couldn't call anyone else. I just had to call my parents because my flight was in the next hour or so. But, getting to share it with, my sisters, my parents, and there was more people at the game that I expected that were coming. People were videotaping my first at-bat. They were sending to me their reactions and everything. So it was cool that everyone back home was kind of, watching it and supporting me. So that was probably the coolest part about it, is that everyone back home that I even watch baseball, were watching it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork. Eastern High School, Voorhees, New Jersey. Who did you grow up loving? Who was your team?
I was a fan of the Phillies, when they won the World Series in 08. I was a fan of Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, all those guys. I looked up to those guys. But, I lived like 20 minutes from Mike Trout, so he was my favorite player growing up. South Jersey guy. And he was like kind of the first one that kind of made it out of South Jersey that was really big, so he inspired a lot of guys to kind of like follow his path. Obviously, I know he's the best player to play the game in the past 10 years, but I looked up to him a lot just because, he's a hard worker. He goes about his business the right way. He plays the game the right way. He plays hard, and that's all you can really ask for in a baseball player to look up to.
Yeah, hopefully he gets back soon with the Angels, dealing with that hamate fracture in his hand. All right, let me ask you about the stash, because this stash is anything but a rookie stash. This is a stash that looks like it's been in the show for decades. Tell me more about how this all came about.
Yeah, so I always had facial hair. I could grow it out pretty good, but last year when I was in high A, it was about the beginning of June. I was batting 130 for the first 2 months, and I had a beard at that time, and I was like, all right, I got to change something. So I shaved the stash, and I ended up hitting well. Got called up to Double-A, And then, I kind of switched it up. Grew back the beard again. And then I started not hitting well, so I grew out the stash one more time, started hitting well again. And then this year, it was kind of the same exact thing. I wasn't hitting well, and then I kind of just shaved it all off, put a stash on, and I kind of just stuck with it for a pretty good long time.
All right, and fans there in Cleveland that are Jays fans are already sporting the stash. What do you think it's going to be like when you actually get to the Rogers Center?
I mean, it's even in Boston, it was pretty crazy. I mean, there was Blue Jays fans travel really well. And so, I mean, I can't really imagine what Toronto is going to be like with everyone and everything like that. My buddies were in town yesterday, and they had their shirts that said Davis Schneider already. So, and I told them to take it off. I was like, you can't be wearing that or anything like that. But it's cool to see the support from the fans and everything like that because, the fans are what make the game great. And like I said, Blue Jays fans travel really well, and they're really supportive so far.
I mean, the stash is a great story, Davis, but I think the glove that you're using is an even better story. And I know that this has already gotten a lot of run, but for those that don't know the story yet, Hazel May, who does a tremendous job covering the Toronto Blue Jays, brought this up the other day, and then Dan Schulman, elaborated on it. But tell the folks what glove you're using and how it came about that you ended up using that glove at the big league level.
Yeah, so as a broke minor leaguer, you got to give lessons in the off season and make some money somehow. So at the place where I train at also and give lessons to, I found this glove in the back, and it was in the lost and found for about like a year and a half, and no one picked it up. And I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it felt. I mean, it was an old glove, but that's how I break in gloves anyway, so it was pretty ironic that it fit me well. But I decided to use it. I started using it last year, and I just liked the way I fielded with it. I liked the way it looked, and it's a nice glove. I mean, it's old, but it's a nice Mizuno, has nice leather, and I just like it so far. I have a backup, so if that ever breaks, I have a good one.
Yeah, but it's a special glove, though, because wasn't it John Vukovich's glove?
Yeah, so I didn't know that at the time. It had the VUK on it, but I thought that was just like a nickname for someone or some kid. And so the owner of the facility, he texted me that night and was like, I got a story to tell you about the glove. And I was like, it's probably some dad or something like that you stole it from. But and then Hazel May tweeted, or Vuk tweeted about it, replying to Hazel May, and ended up being a funny story that, it's pretty ironic that Schneid's, our manager, was roommates with his son. So it's kind of come full circle at that point.
Yeah, is there any relation? Did you do the genealogy? Did you do like Ancestry.com or, with you and Schneider? Are you guys related in any way?
I mean, I don't think so. We're from the same state. We have the same last name. He's a bit taller than me, so I think that he got me in the height department. But as of now, I don't think we're related at all. But it could be an option. Yeah,
Ancestry.com. Get on that and see if those two are related. Brandon Belt said that you have energized the team, re-energized the team. What does that mean to hear that from a veteran first baseman?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think I really energized this team. This team is already talented and very capable of winning games, and I think it's just I think I just not got lucky, but I came in at the right spot. They're bound to get hot at some point, and I'm just grateful enough to be part of this team and a part of this run that we're going to have to try to get to the playoffs. I mean, but hearing them say that was pretty cool, just because I looked up to these guys a couple years ago, and playing on the same field as them, it means a lot.
You have been praised as a guy that is a hard worker, tremendous work ethic, great plate discipline, gets on base, has good power. What are you most proud of, Davis, when it comes to your game?
I'd say probably my work ethic. I mean, I don't want the guy next to me to work harder than me, even if we're on the same team. If a guy's working harder than me, then I gotta put in more work, because I'm not the most talented guy. I'm 5'9", I'm 190 pounds, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not the most talented, so I got to work harder than the next guy just to make sure I'm on the field every day.
Well, you're doing it, and you are a Major League Baseball player making history in this game. It's been a pleasure to see what you've done so far. Thanks for taking the time to be with us and letting us know a little bit more about yourself, Davis. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.